My name is Mary Adams, and may I express appreciation to the mayor, the city council, and the city superintendent's concern and action which they are undertaking concerning the problem of runoff from Alligator Pond across my property and all the homes along Hereford Street. Are you able to hear me all right?
Yes.
Thank you.
There's much interest in and a community desire to preserve historic Glen. In this regard, may I share with you living history at 306 Hereford, where I live. In 1893, Joseph Godfrey Adams purchased a 3 to 4 acre tract of land on Hereford Street, one of the two main thoroughfares in Glen. The other main thoroughfare was Barnard Street. Joseph Godfrey Adams owned and operated the Adams Drugstore on the Courthouse Square. And this photograph shows his drugstore on the southeast side of Somerville County Courthouse. And the drugstore is a tall building right here that says drugs. I'm sorry it's so light and so small. By the way, this is one of the flowing wells, and this was directly in front of the courthouse at that time. He was a member of the Baptist Church and one of the two deacons who purchased the Barnard Street site, which is now the Methodist Church Family Life Center. He was twice elected county judge of Somerville County, serving from 1897 to 1907, and from 1911 until March 13, 1912, when he died in August. On April 29, 1902, a cyclone destroyed most of the homes on Hereford Street, where Joseph Godfrey Adams lived. His stone house was totally destroyed. And this photograph shows him in his apothecary apron, his white dress shirt with long sleeves held up by rubber bands, and wearing a derby hat he grabbed while running out the drugstore to his nearby home, where he is shown standing among the rubble left by the cyclone on Hereford Street. And for many years, Hereford was called Cyclone Street. This is the rubble. This is the druggist and later county judge. This is his wife. This is a bystander. And you can see what Hereford Street looked like at this one place after the cyclone in 1902. A young teenager, Mary Connell, was visiting Judge Adams' wife, Molly, when the cyclone struck. Mary ran to her bedroom, lying on the bed, covering her face with a pillow, and the stone wall of the bedroom collapsed, killing her. In memory of Mary Connell, the seasonally dry creek, which flows from Alligator Pond to the Biloxi River, was named Connell Branch. The 3 to 4 acre tract of land on Hereford was divided in the 1930s among the 3 sons of Joseph Godfrey Adams. His youngest son, George, chose the land on which Edwin Conger now lives. In the 1930s, that was pasture land, with a barbed wire fence and a barn overlooking Connell Branch. George chose the pasture land and barn because he was a Somerville County rural mail carrier, and he needed the barn to stow hay for the donkey that pulled his mail pack. George is the one who is credited with finding the Dinosaur tracks in Somerville County and Glen, which have brought fame and honor to both. The middle son, Nancy, chose the 2-story frame house which Joseph Godfrey Adams built in 1902 and still stands at 400 Hereford Street. And this is it, right here. It's painted tan, and it's the residence where Pat Hanks, a school teacher, has been rented. The oldest son, Ernest Adams, also known as Bull Adams, chose the Buggy Trail, which circles the live oak mop in front of the President Adams homestead at 306 Hereford. In the 1930s and 40s, after he inherited his father's land, Ernest hadn't quarried stone from the cliff overlooking Connell Branch, and he built what was then called his cave, and which is now the lower level of the Adams home at 306 Hereford. He used the quarried stone to landscape the land below the cliff, embanking Connell Branch with stone. He built up the land on the outside of the embankment with soil he brought in. The bottom of the branch was stone, and that was what the bottom was at that time. It was not. He did not use mortar on the stones to enable the flow from Alligator Pond to water his garden. This was before Highway 67 was built. Ernest brought honor to Glen, graduating in 1911 from Baylor University with a degree in classical languages, and he became Baylor's first Rhodes Scholar to Oxford University in England. After graduating from Oxford and after passing the state bar exam, he was twice elected county attorney of Somerville County from 1925 to 28. This was the bootleg deal. And from 1945 to 1955, when he suffered a massive stroke. He served as county surveyor of Somerville County from 1943 to 1944. His most outstanding contribution, however, was his finding footprints of man and dinosaur tracks in the same geologic strata in the Paluxy River. This confirms the biblical account of creation as stated in Genesis chapter 1, verses 24 through 31. This finding also disproves the theory of evolution, which claims that the dinosaur was extinct 55 million years before man, quote, evolved. My purposes for this beautiful home and garden, which my father, Ernest Adams, deeded to me in the late 40s, is to restore the 23rd Psalm prayer garden, which was begun along Connell Branch behind our home in 1987, but is a mud flat in 2008, and to eventually turn the Adams home into a museum. The museum will be called Our Fathers, an Historical Museum, dedicated to our Heavenly Father and in honor of our earthly fathers. The earthly fathers will include my father's father, Joseph Godfrey Adams, my father, Ernest Bull Adams, and my mother's father, Dr. James Henry Whalen, founder of Whalen Baptist University in Plainfield, my brother and his son, who built and finished the Adams homestead here. This will provide also a treasure of history to the city of Glen and Somerville County. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.